um, watch it after. It was such a short notice, so few folks are not ready to take the workshop. So hello, and I think I'm gonna do this in English. My broken English, but come with me. Okay. So thank you for joining today. A little bit about me because well, half of you know me and half of don't. So I I'm a teaching professional at fashion department of Academy of Art University, which is completely different from food industry. But I just love this. I'm originally from Japan, and I really love um, knowing how the from the old Asian time, the how the Japanese people try to keep their food edible, right? And I really appreciate the culture, and I really like I when I'm doing this type of thing, I feel like I'm connecting with my grandparents because they were the people who were doing umeboshi making for me and for the entire family. So I never done this in Japan when I was in Japan, but when you are far from your own culture, you feel you want something more connected, and that's how I started. And luckily, with this pandemic, um, we usually the type of beautiful ume is really difficult for the end user to get them. But luckily, the farmers are a lot closer to us nowadays. So um, here we have really beautiful ume. Um, yes. So, and I've been doing this umeboshi making since I moved here for 7 years, and every year I feel more. I feel I getting it, and I thought it'll be great if I could share this experience with you. And umeboshi making is one of the easiest thing, but somehow people think it's so professional, and um and also it's really expensive. You try to get a good umeboshi at the store. Somehow, I mean, somehow it's time consuming, and it's not about like you spend time with umeboshi, but you need to wait a long long time, and that's I think the probably the reason that the umeboshi in stores are very expensive. And if you purchase the cheaper one that has a lot of preservatives and it's not really a healthy traditional umeboshi, so I thought to share this process with you. And I hope you will enjoy it. And in a half year or so, you will have your own umeboshi in your hand. So let's get started. Today I have here is water. This is to wash ume, right? And I have a second wash water. So if you have a water access close by you, you can use that sink. I have beautiful ume. This is 300 gram, 2/3 of pound over here. That's about that. And I have 18 percentage of ume weight salt. Oh, somebody just came in. Joseph.
Oh, that's my friend. He's actually in.
Good, good. That's the salt. And this is shoju. So soju and soju is a little different. Soju is Korean version of shoju, and soju is Japanese. It's same process but different ingredients. And shoju is what we call shoju in Japan. And the shoju bottle look like this. It comes with like a huge bottle, and that's a part of reason I just share with everybody. So because like you just need a little bit for umeboshi making, and if you need to buy this cost $30, which is more expensive than ume itself. So I like, if you're not making umeshu, then I don't think you need this. So I pour it to some of you. Okay, and so these are the only ingredients that we need: the ume and the salt, right? And soju is to kill the germs on the surface of ume. And it's fine because it's not that serious because you have a ton of salt. So the salt kills the germ too. So it's not that serious, but you just want to kind of make sure that the ume is clean. And some people just run into the boiling water. That's okay too. Some people use a little bit more high alcohol content liquid. That's okay too. But why I use this soju is because this, if you sip it, you will almost taste nothing. It's like just alcohol, but it's a drinkable. We use this for lemon sour. If you know Japan a lot, we use lemon sour. It's a drink of lemon juice and the shochu and lemon. It's very like a very dry lemonade, alcoholic lemonade that we all Japanese love. Anyway, too much information. Okay, let's start washing the ume. So what I have here is just a bowl of water, and I'm going to just dump my ume entirely. And when you when you dump it, you will see all this hair of ume is protecting from the water, protecting itself from the water. So if you pull it out, it's actually dry, right? So you want to kind of rub it softly. And one of you guys asked me, how mushy can it be? It could be mushy as much. If it's not turning to brown, you can still make umeboshi. And the riper it gets, you get softer umeboshi. So it's good. If you ripen it good, that's good. If you see any green ume, you might want to wait 2 or 3 more days outside and just pickle it on top of the umeboshi that you pickled today. So wash it. I will kind of rub it gently. Let's take my ring off so that it won't create any scratch. And some people really worries about the how deep scratch it can get. If it's not bleeding, it's totally fine. Some umeboshi maker just use like the skin of ume, which is a little bit not fun because it's a little bit too mushy. But as long as the skin is tight together, it's all good for the first round. And just wash it. And especially where the pickle belly, I call it pickle belly because I'm a hula dancer, and pickle means belly button, right? And belly button, 2 words. So pickle is just 2 2 sounds, so it's easier for me to pronounce. But you can just, this part is very sandy sometimes, so you can just wash it carefully where the pickle is. And that's the part that usually ended up dry when you wash. So just make sure this pickle part is all dry, all wet. Okay, and that's my first wash. And I will just dump this to the second. Clean water and run through and just lay out on the table with a clean cloth on top. I usually put the pickle down so that I know what to, if I could tell what to do in the second process. I'm kind of counting how many I have and imagining how I want to lay out. That, 2. Okay. And that's all I need for water. 5. And when you're laying out on the towel, we want to dry it out. And meanwhile it's drying out, what we want to do is we want to clean up this pickle. So this pickle, This is all clean. There's nothing left inside here. This is all clean, okay? And this one still have, how do you call this? Culvet? I can't pronounce right.
Stem.
Stem, calyx or stem. So if you look at it, there's a stem left over. And you can just peel it out, pull it off, kind of like that. And that's all you need to do. You don't have to scratch hard. If you're scratching so hard and it's not coming off, that's not a stem probably. So it'll look like that. This is good. This is good. And if I'm done, I will just pull it face up so that I know that which one is done. See, like this one, it's kind of therapeutic moment. It's like picking somebody's, like cleaning somebody's ears. And this kind of look like there's a stem, but it's actually it's not. It's like stem, the bottom of the stem is turning just brown and it's not actually a stem. So that's good. You just want to make sure everything, there's a little thing here. Take it off, right? Oh, that's a big stem. Yeah, so take your time. You want to dry the ume anyway, so you don't have to really hurry. That's good. And I think, I hope I gave you guys this pick. If you pick up your ume from me. And it's good. And if you see your ume is not clean enough, you can go back to water and just wash it out. And I think this part is a little difficult when it's greener ume. But when it's ripe, it's a lot easier to take it out. Okay, so I'm draining out, and meanwhile I'm draining out, I'm just going to prepare the next step. Okay. And I also, when I'm draining up, I also usually put into the kind of same size. We call it sinojun. The reason why I do this is when I have a small, I say, bottom, I can't really lay out a lot of ume at once. And when the ume is not even at the top, it's a little difficult to give an even pressure. So I usually put this into sizes so I can, when I'm pickling, it's easier for me to pick up which ume to put inside next. So that's my large to medium to small. But it doesn't have to be so specific. I think I'm a little OCD. Okay, any questions so far? Are we doing good? How's your ume looking? Beautiful. Are you good? Take your time. And if you're not doing, how many are actually pickling it today with me? 1, 2, nobody, 1, 2, okay, 3, 4. Okay, so let's take a time this part, because this part is most time consuming, I guess. And if you have any question, if you're just listening, if you have any question, let me know. I can also answer. And I'm gonna actually start washing the umeshu version, umeshu umes as well. I'm gonna explain how to make plum wine in the end. So let me just start washing them. I'm using same water actually. So it's same process. You wash it once, twice, and then drain it out. Reason why we're sure.
So we wash it again, right?
No, this is the second batch for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't have to wash again. This is a second batch, different ume. So the reason why we're taking out this stem is to give access to salt and give salt access to ume itself, because we want to have ume juice come out, but when the skin is so tight, the juice cannot come out from the ume. So by taking out this stem, the salt will go in there and pull out the juice from ume. So that's why we're taking out this stem. Okay, so that's the first wash of my second batch. See, the water is kind of getting dirty, so it's good to do a second. And then I'll have my and like some of ume is like kind of bruised, but this is totally fine. It's still workable.
Would we want to cut away any of the brown parts or leave it as is?
Brown part?
Yeah, like one that you just showed us.
If it's that's a good actually. If majority of like maybe like a half, if the half of ume is browned and mush, like if it's just going bad, then I will just throw it away.
Okay.
Yeah, but if it's just like a little bruise, like I have some of them. Let's see. So it has a bruise over here, little bruise over here.
Yeah.
But that's totally fine. Is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Of course, the salt will heal them. I guess. Usually we use ripe ume for, if you just have one or the other, we use greener ume to umeshu and ripe ones for umeboshi. And I can show you the reason later on with my umeshu.
Thank you.
First. When you go to grocery store, like Asian grocery store, you will see plum, like ube plums on the season right now. And they are very green, unfortunately. And why they take green, so the ones that it's really ripe when you receive, it was actually came off from the tree by itself with their weight. So that's why when you see the ripe ume, you get a little scratch and stuff, but that doesn't mean you cannot use. And that's actually better ume because it riped on the tree, right? While it's on a tree. Really green ones, it's a little difficult to write like additional ripening process. So I will usually use it for umeshu, but you can still wait for, you can still put it under the sun and wait until it gets orange, like this time. So this is for my umeshu making later. Ume wine, plum wine. Okay. Are you guys doing? Almost done. And if you're just waiting, you can just start wiping your ume. Hi, no, sorry, I have to say hi to my puppy. Hello, everybody. Hi. Good girl. Good girl. Hi. No. Let's go there. And don't forget to wash your hands. Right. And if you have other people helping you, you can ask them to go ahead and kind of wipe the moist from the water from the ume to make sure they are dry. It kind of dries out pretty quickly, actually. Oh, I accidentally. There. It's all dry. How are we doing? Are you doing good? Are you doing it? Tisha, are you doing good? Okay. And who? Joseph, are you doing good? Okay. And Kale, are you also pickling today?
Yeah, I forgot my container in the car though, so I have to go get it.
Okay. All right. So next process, what you're gonna do is you're going to kind of wipe your container with the shochu. So what I usually do is I have this little cloth, like a handkerchief cloth kind of thing, and I will dump it inside and just do that. Or if you don't have a cloth, but you have a spray bottle, you can spray it. Right. And don't wipe out with a dry towel after this. You want to let it sit so it'll infect the germs out. My hand is from left to right. So let's do this, right? Hina. Hina. Daddy downstairs. Are we ready for the next step? We're good? Okay. So what you need next is shochu, a little bit. I have here like a little half pound, yeah, 200 cc milliliter, and salt over here and the jar. Okay. Let me pull this up a little bit. So let me show you the process. So what I'm gonna do is I will dump my ume into the shochu container and just disinfect this in, and make sure the pickle of it is getting that shochu. And then kind of don't wipe with the towel. You can just shake it and dump into the salt bath. And kind of rotate and marble it so that you entire surface get the salt, and especially this pickle part once salted. Like I said earlier, you want to have the water come out from the ume itself. And to get the water, you need some salt. Yeah, so, and then make sure when you put into the jar, you want to make sure this pickle part, the stem part, belly button goes bottom. So with the gravity, the water comes earlier, faster. Again, and then you can also rub the surface of ume with the salt, like facial spa. Like you go to the facial spa, I never been, but like they massage your face with the salt, whatever, right? And then your skin gets softer. It's the same thing. So you kind of want to rub your ume skin outside and make sure that you add a ton of salt at the pickle. Yeah, and then this part face down. And you just repeat this until until the last ume. Rub, rub, rub.
Yuko, I have a question.
Sure, please.
Oh, I have the sochu to use.
Hmm.
I also have this shiso ume.
Yes. Oh, good question. So you want, thank you. So if you have ume vinegar, it look like this, look like that. This liquid is my last year umeboshi making umezu. It's a vinegar that came from ume making. So I have a demo ume. So I pickled this 3 days ago, right? And it has a liquid. This liquid came out from ume. I didn't add any liquid, just the ume and the salt came out from the ume itself. So this liquid is what you have, Shisha.
Yeah.
So you can wash with this liquid instead of shochu,
Okay.
because this is very high salt content. So
Yeah.
it kills the germ that is not friendly for with the salt.
Okay. I have it. Would you recommend I use that as a?
Yeah, it adds more flavor to it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking.
So I have another question. I have a honey ume one and I have a shiso ume one. Which one should I use?
I will say shiso ume one, because
Okay.
that is a lot saltier.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. So this is like a quiet moment. If you are not pickling today, it's if you have any questions, please do. And you can also start cooking your dinner. What's your dinner today?
Having fun watching you do this.
Yeah.
I'm visualizing when I can do mine.
Oh, that's good. Good. That's good. So rub, right? And don't push too much. If your ume is right, I think it's a lot mushier. So you don't have to probably rub too much, but make sure you get that salt into that bottom. And this is the smallest container I've ever done. I'm not sure if I'm gonna succeed, but that's okay too. I will enjoy it. And you kind of want to fill out the space. There you go. Oh, there you go. Right? You don't want to have too much space in between, because you will give the pressure to ume afterwards, and if that pressure doesn't go anywhere, it's harder to get the juice out. So you want to make sure that if it's tight, you can just kind of squeeze in between. As long as the ume is not like, doesn't break. What's the angle? You want to just, this is like beautifully lined up actually. I like it. And then the next, if you finish the bottom roll, then you can go for the next next stage. Next bed. Shake, 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 salt, salt, salt. So you don't want to be too cautious. Because Umeboshi was done by busy ladies back in the days. They have baby on their back, and usually Japanese husbands when they're done anything at home, so
You can go on the other question.
Yes.
If, so my plums are not holding the salt as well. You know how like when you use the shochu, the salt holds all over the plums? It's kind of falling off the plum with the ume shiso that I'm using. Is it okay?
So it's fine if there's a little bit of, and if your ume doesn't look like salted enough like mine,
Yeah.
if you finish the first every roll you've done, you can put more salt on top of it.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Right. And so meanwhile I'm moving my fingers. Let me talk about why 18% of salt to use. So usually when you go to the stores and if you look at the package, it says like, well, it's all in Japanese, so I don't know if you can recognize, but it says like less sodium or reduce sodium to 13%, 12%, 8%. And that means if they are using just 8% to pickle umeboshi, that means they are adding preservatives. It's impossible to make pickle ume with such a low sodium, because the salt is we salt this to get the water out as quick as possible, so the ume sinks inside its juice. So there's no oxygen contact, and that makes the umeboshi secure from the building molds. So, but then how can they do? And they can add preservatives, or if you want to make less sodium, you want to pickle with a higher sodium first, and right before you eat them, or like 2-3 days before you eat them, you can reduce the saltiness, dump into the water, and just let the salt come out from the ume itself, and that reduces the saltiness. So when you make your umeboshi and when you taste your first umeboshi, it may be super salty because that's what it is. And usually we used to eat a bowl of rice with one umeboshi. That's how poor, like, and the rice was not like a straight white rice. Of course, you had a lot of different grains in the rice in the back in the days, but this was the only way to eat our rice. So that's why umeboshi has to be salty, but you can reduce the saltiness afterwards, and you can also add honey to instead of just water when you want to reduce the saltiness. So it's maybe this is a little too big to get in there, so see it? I'm pushing it pretty hard. I think this is a little bit too small space left. Oh, this is really soft. I might break the skin if I push too. Okay, so because I'm using very small container, I think I cannot fit these two. If I fit these two in there on top of this layers, the weight that I want to put wouldn't give enough pressure to other umes, maybe just the top layer. So I'm not going to use these two ume. I will probably just eat it or just put it to my umeshu batch. So once you finish like that, you want to kind of, if you look from the side, it looks even. Yeah, that's what you want to do. And if you're pickling, you might want to just look at it. And I still have like leftover salt. That means I didn't use 18%, but I want to bring up to 18%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this salt on top of it, and I'm losing my few of the 18% salt with my fingers. I'm dropping all over everywhere, so that's okay. Don't be too like serious. And I'm taking out my 2 ume, so I can lose some salt. That's fine. And you can cover the ume just like that, right? Additional ume. Yeah. Okay. And let's wait for another 5 minutes or so you can concentrate and finish it up. I'm gonna clean this mess.
There's your current home son. Yeah. Welcome. Love you. Yeah, thank you. Mhm.
This is
ところで待っている間、来週の実り by 実るを宣伝しますか？
thank you. Yes, that's good idea. So my husband is a pastry chef. He's a Japanese pastry chef who studied his pastry making in Japan. In Japan, we call it pâtissier. It's a French word. So he works for one of the IT companies in Bay Area, but because their facility is closed, he does a pop-up instead, so that he could still keep his career ongoing. And today was also a pop-up at Delage in Oakland, but next week, this Saturday, we are also doing a pop-up at what it's called, Mitama Sushi. It's on College and Alcatraz corner, across from Pete's Coffee. There's a sushi restaurant for long time sushi restaurant on College and Alcatraz corner, and he is going to bake some goods, and I guarantee it's really delicious. Not too sweet.
It's so good. It is
Healthier.
so good. Yes,
Yes.
it's so good.
It is very good.
Yeah, it's and I'm very proud of what he creates. So please join to his pop-up if you have time. It's really we do twice a month. We are not sure where we can, and we are going to participate for the other pop-up in July at Magnolia Market, Mini Mart. It's one of the a high-end selection store in West Oakland, and you can get the information by following his following his
His Instagram, Minori by Minoru.
Minori by Minoru at. There we go. That's his Instagram account. Please.
Are you posting on Facebook these days? I was trying to find something on Facebook to repost, but I didn't see anything. So you're posting on
I'm being a little lazy.
わざと避けてるのかなと思って。
No, it's not. No, but I think Instagram is a lot. How to say?
Oh, なるほど。
I get more attention in Instagram. We get more attention in Instagram.
Oh, okay. ごめん、私はもう年取っているから。
So how far is your pickling process? Is it salted? That
ゆっこさん、余った塩は上にかけたらいいんですか？
はい、余った塩は上にスパークルしてください。
ありがとうござい
はい。
ます。
Isn't this like amazing that you get water, this much water comes out from the ume? I know, it's like 3 days and you get this much water.
So excited.
Yeah, that's why you need a ton of water.
Okay.
Okay, so let me. That's a little too heavy. If you are doing a small batch, you want to make you want to have a little heavier weight. Then maybe you can get twice as much heavy weight than ume itself. I have 600, so I want to do about 5 to 6, 300 gram. I want to do a little less than 600. Yeah, that's good.
There you go.
Yes.
If we have leftover salt and leftover shochu,
Yeah, leftover shochu is fine. I usually keep the shochu for next time. Leftover salt, you want to sparkle on top of everything.
yeah, but the soju do not pour in there.
Do not pour in there. No.
Okay.
So that's that. Are we good? Okay, so now after this, you want to just put paperweight, not paperweight, weights. Be creative. If you have a little smaller container, like a jar like this, you can put water in there, or if you are a baker, you can put pie weights inside it and then put on top of it. Or you can also put, I have a paperweight because I'm a pattern maker. So I put the other jar, I put this kind of container, what it's called, and then I put on top of that. So that's pretty heavy. This time I'm going to put some water in here. And then I'm going to put my paperweight on top of this. Like that. It's okay. It's a little higher than the jar top, but I can just rub this top.
So we don't need to put like plastic wrap or anything on top of the ume. It's okay that it's,
As long as this is clean, yes. As long as did I wipe this off? Yes, as long as the bottom is clean.
Okay.
Yeah, we can put this on top.
Oh, and it's okay that it's not sealed.
No, I'm going to seal this. So if I cannot put the lid on top of this, what I would do is I'll put a newspaper, very old style newspaper, like that.
Okay.
And then rubber band. See, that's why old days my grandmother said don't ever throw away the rubber bands because it's useful.
Oh.
I just wrap around at the neck of the jar.
Okay.
This. And it's sealed, getting weight. And just like that. And make sure that the weight is giving a pressure to the ume. And that's it. So we want to wait. And in 2 days, I think the first bottom ume will sink inside the water. Well, not water, but the juice of ume. And in 3 to 4 days, your ume will totally sink into the juice, their juice. And once the juice is all the way to the top, like this, we can reduce the weight to about same amount of ume weight. So this one, I think I had I think it was a little less than pound. So I'm going to make a weight that could hold. So that's a little less than pound. And like I said, be creative. I don't want to put this directly, this type of paperweight. So I'm gonna wrap this with a Ziploc. And tight the top of that with the rubber band.
Is this part for after the liquids came out?
Which one? This one?
Uh-huh.
This one is, so so before, right after you pickled, right, you want heavier weight. So you need, so when the ume is 300 grams, I want like about 450 to 600 grams. So like 150% to 200% of ume weight, weight. After the water came out and all the ume is synced all the way to their shoulder, then you can reduce the weight. But like, even though the water is all synced, you can see the ume is kind of trying to float. Then that's why you always want a weight on top of this, just to make sure that the ume is sinking inside the salty water. Okay, so
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you for asking. And I have homemade nice paper, not paper weight. I just cut the top so that it looks cuter. And I will just put this on top. So that you see when I put, so there's some of ume is kind of showing their face, the surface of the liquid, but if I put this on, everything sinks. Everything sinks. Yeah, that's what you want. You want to make sure ume is inside the bath, because then you won't get if they don't get the oxygen contact, you will free from molds. Okay, just like this. That. Then I can put my lid tight. No, not I cannot put the lid tight. But I cannot put the lid tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to saran wrap it. So once you got the water out, it's a lot easier. You just need to wait another month or two. Until it's a little bit of I say you need to check in to the ume kind of every day until they sink in the water like this. So that's, sorry, I'll show you. So that's a third day ume. It's all sinking in the water. So I can leave this for a month. But until you get this point, you want to check every day. Okay, so this is the first day. I will check tomorrow. I could probably send you a picture of what I see tomorrow here. And when you see little water, you kind of swirl it like this so that the water kind of jiggles around. And the second day you will see water a little higher than that. That's a good, that's good, right? If you get more water, that's good. And third day you will get a little bit more water. Fourth day you will get more water. And finally you will see the water is kind of above the ume. Then you can reduce the weight. And then airtight so that the ume sinks in the water for a long, long time.
Does this like sit out on the counter, or do you put it in the refrigerator while it's doing this?
You don't have to put it in the refrigerator. You don't, if it's a cool and kind of dark place, I usually put it in the cabinet under here.
Okay.
If it doesn't get warm, that's all good. Some people just leave in the bathroom because it's the coolest place.
Yeah.
But I won't do that. I will just put it under my cupboard over here. At the bottom, over here. And this is the ume that I did on 3rd. So that's June 3rd. That's like a week and a half ago, 10 days ago. So this is the size of the ume making I do. This is the bigger batch. There's like 7 pound, 8 pound umeboshi. Now let's take a look. And you can actually eat this, but it doesn't taste good as much. And even so you see the water? Yeah. And water is kind of covering the ume. And some ume, like this one, is because it was ripe, it kind of get ripped. The skin is ripped, and this is okay. You can still pickle this. This is like totally fine. But if you want to keep your ume juice clear, this is not good because it makes it a little bit kind of non-clear umesu. But it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not pretty as clear. But I will just take it. Well, let's taste it. So this is 10 days pickled ume. Woo! It's very salty. Yeah, it's just salty, but it has a freshness, right? And where's my last year umeboshi? This is my last year umeboshi. It's more like brownish color. There's no fresh color in there. That. It's salty, but the flavor of ume itself came back kind of. I think it's because after a couple months of pickling process, I dried it under the sun. That makes the umeboshi even tastier. Okay, so that's the difference. So that's the goal of your umeboshi. And this costs like 25 bucks at the store. Right. Look how many I have. So that's how I enjoy. And this is 18% salt umeboshi. And in the instruction, I said about the honey. Let me talk about that. Meanwhile, you guys are working on, oh, this is 17%. Wow. Earlier, I said the salt brings the moist out, the juice out from ume. And also it softens the skin of ume. Okay, so if you, yes, the less sodium is maybe healthier for us, but it doesn't mean it makes it tastier and softer. We want to have softer ume skin so that it doesn't when you eat it, it doesn't have that texture. And 80% to 20% makes the umeboshi ume skin softer. 17 is actually kind of a little lower than I want to usually do. But I just wanted to challenge myself to make how much I can reduce. Okay, but sugar also makes the skin softer, and also it brings out the water. So instead of salt, you can substitute with the honey, sugar. Sugar is not good for your health, is honey, but the honey is a little healthier for you. So you can, if you want to do less sodium, less salt, you can add, you can reduce the salt, but add honey to it. And then I haven't checked this for a couple of days, so I'm not sure. But here is my another batch. I did 10% salt, 5% honey, so that brings up 15%, and then adding 8%, addition 8% of honey after I got the water out. So let's check. And this actually, I started with, so 10% salt, 5% honey, so that's 15% of salt honey, right? And I got molded. I'm not sure how it looks like today. Ah, it's okay. So because I got water covered, now it's okay. Now it's okay. That doesn't sound good. Let's take out the pick. Wait. But I add raw honey, of course. So so it's a little bit the water is not clear. And in addition to it, I also add kombu. Do you know kombu?
Oh,
Yeah, I also add kombu to it. Additional umami. So you can be creative.
Why? Okay.
So you can be creative. Yeah, so let's taste one. How sweet. So because I think that the softness of it is a lot softer with just the salt. This is a little, the skin is the same ume, it's the same day ume, but the skin is a lot tighter. It's very crunchy, but it's less, it's still salty, but I can, there's another kick of honey afterward. But the skin is very dense. So oftentimes when people want to do a honey umeboshi, they make umeboshi with 18% to 20%, and then after they pickle it, they reduce the saltiness inside the water, and then add into the honey broth. So like they put salt, pickle, and then reduce the saltiness and put honey on top of it. So it's a lot of process, but I just want to cut down all the process, so I did it all at the same time. But this may be a little bit too crunchy. It's a little dense skin umeboshi after all, but it's okay. You know, kind of want to be creative. If you do a couple times, and I make sure. So the most important part is ume is sinking in the bath. That is most important part. You don't want to have that ume like floating on top of the bath like that. That is not. Can you see that? That is not good. That is going to get mold because there's an oxygen contact. But this is fine. The surface of liquid is fine because it's salty.
Okay.
And just put the lid. Grandma style newspaper lid. And once you get the water out, you can just keep it for at least 6 weeks. But you can keep like this for years until you see the sun out. You want to have a very hot, continuous hot 3 days to dry the ume. Okay, so you kind of want, after 6 weeks, you want to check your weather and see when is the hottest day. And if that hottest season is already gone, like San Francisco, then you want to wait another year to dry this out. Some people dry it with oven.
Oh yeah, I was just going to ask, can you use like a?
I think technically yes, if you just want to dry it, but I believe sun has more, I don't know, vibrant. I think the UV does some job because you can get suntan, you can get tan, you get burn on the oven, but you can get suntan on the sun, right? So I think there is a difference with the heat and the sunlight. And I like the process of drying under the sun. But you can also do it in the car what is called t-shirt you wear, a dashboard of your car. You can also dry the ume over there.
But you put newspaper, not metal.
Not metal. When I dry it, I use this type of basket.
Oh yeah.
Outside. Bees loves the smell, and of course the flies comes. So I have this type of, but you can do that on the table, newspaper, and a cloth on top of it so that you can dry it. But anyhow, any questions about, I think the pickling process for today it is done. You just need to wait a couple of days until you get the water out. Yeah, you don't have to add any liquid. You will get this much liquid once the salt is taking the moist out from the ume. Yeah.
Sumimasen.
So,
I had a question. So we actually, the day we picked up the ume from you, we were just randomly watching Japanese TV, and they had a segment about umeboshi.
oh, cool.
And then like how to make it, and it was just kind of very serendipitous. And they actually, you had said in your email you can do it in Ziploc, and that's actually how they showed it, to do it in Ziploc. So we did it in Ziploc, and they said on the show to flip it every day.
Oh wow, okay.
Do you know, do we do that for all 6 weeks, or do you think just for a little?
Just to get the water out. I think because if it's a Ziploc, it's really difficult to make it completely airlock. Like,
right.
You get the bubble, and that I think that's why you want to scroll so that the part that had an oxygen contact will go upside down, and you get the other side. So maybe like I don't think it has to be. I don't think you need to be every day once you get the water out, but maybe once in a while, like.
Okay. For like a week or so, 2 week.
Depends.
And
We just need to.
Okay. Okay.
try to push out the air as much as possible.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Maybe we have to do it
Okay.
again.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's cool. And it's I heard of Ziploc, and there's a lot of people doing with a Ziploc nowadays, and I think that's cool.
Yeah,
Like-
actually, on that show, they showed a lot of, it was one of the variety shows. So they showed like how they were showing how they had like iced ume, like people are eating it with dessert. What else they had?
But they're not making that was from the stores.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
I
saying.
see. I see.
They're showing all the varieties of ume,
Yeah,
like
juice.
ume juice.
Yeah.
They were using for the cooking and stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
If you cook with the protein gets a lot tenderer. So it's good for cooking porks or chicken. It's really useful too. So if everybody got the notes about the umeboshi, I want to show you how to make umeshu. If you are interested. Yeah, are we good?
Yes, of course.
Of course, right on. So umeshu making is a lot easier compared to umeboshi. Not easier, but you just need to dump everything together, which I love. And umeshu look like this. Let's see, where is my umeshu? Okay, so this is 10-year-old umeshu. So it looks fresh. The bottom side is just sugary alcohol, and the top part is kind of changing the color to orange, right? And this is my year-old umeshu, which I think I used green ume. So the bottom part of ume, you can see it's a lot greener. That's because I used green ume. And why we use green ume is because green ume is not edible when it's raw, and it has a little toxin to it, so you don't want to eat green ume. And oftentimes Japanese farming, when there's a fruit trees, we reduce the fruits because we want to have the rest of the fruit more ripe and tastier. By reducing the fruit from the tree, let's say there's 100 fruits on that tree, and if you reduce 50, the rest of the 50 gets double nutrition from the roots, right? So it gets tastier, and that's how we kind of farm our fruits. But in the old days, they don't want to waste that the fruit that they take off, right? But it's toxin. So what they did is to reduce to erase the toxin, they put in the sugar and the alcohol and made umeshu. So that's how, like, it's so funny. Like, usually we will just throw it out, but it's actually really tasty sake, like wine, right? And this is how I do. What you need is ume. And today, because I have really nice ume, I'm going to use this ripe ume, but this could be green. When you go to the Asian store, you probably see a lot greener ume, and that's fine too. And you want to have same weight. This is a rock sugar. It looks like the package of it looks like this. Looks like that. It says Kori is ice sugar because it looks like an ice cube. Okay. So it's like a candy kind of look sugar. And reason why we use this is because it melts slowly and I don't know why it has to be slowly, but I think I think it melts slowly, but it surely. If the sugar is powder, I think there will be a dense sugar part, and it takes more time to melt. And I do think that's the reason. But this sugar can be honey. This can be regular sugar. This can be a black sugar, the brown sugar. It could be any sugar, any type of sugar, but same weight or less. I reduced this. This version, I reduced the sugar for 40% of ume weight, just because this ume was ripe. Right? The ume, when the ume is ripe, it's a little bit less tart. So I use less sugar. But you can use all the way up to same weight. And today I'm doing the same weight, actually. So how you do is, I already washed this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dump it to, it's the easiest. Dump ume in there, right, in the jar, and then dump the sugar. Dump the sugar. That's a lot of sugar, isn't it? But how we drink is like we divide with the soda, water, and I'm going to pour twice as much as ume weight of shochu. So that was 250 grams, and I got 2 more, so about 300. So 300, 600, all the way to top probably. That's little less than I want to add, but that's okay. Just that's it. And you just need to kind of swirl, like mix it upside down a day, like once every day, every 3 to 4 days until the sugar melts. Okay. I got this sugar. So when you start, all the how do you call the ume is sinking at the bottom, right? But when you get it done, you will see kind of a little floating ume. That's a good. That's a good sign. Okay. And like that. And so with green umeshu, we don't actually eat this ume because the alcohol took out all the good parts of ume. So this ume doesn't taste really good. Like it doesn't really taste as much. It doesn't taste good as the liquid part of umeshu. And you can see, let me pull up some ume. For example, when you look at the ume, if you use green ume, it'll be like grandma skin. It's wrinkled up.
That's terrible.
That's crunchy because the sugar and the alcohol took out all the ume juice out from it, so this doesn't taste good. Okay, so it sounds horrible and it's crunchy, but some people likes it. You can, my grandmother used to make ume jam with this because she never want to waste anything, but this doesn't taste as good as umeshu because all the goodness of ume is taken into here. That's what it's for. But this is also a umeshu plum that I took. I kept it because look how fluffy they are. It's not like grandma. It's very teenager skin. It's very fluffy.
You go. You're killing me.
Because I used the ripe ume to make umeshu. So it's very fluffy. And also it had a little scratch. So after the ume juice, ume goodness came out to the liquid, the ume sucks back that ume wine. That makes sense? So that's why it's fluffy and it tastes good. So this year, what I did to my new batch umeshu, learning from this process, why don't I just make a scratch, injure them before I pickle it? I mean, before I soak into the. So what I did is I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
But you see a little like little hole, like little pink, little spotted points.
Poke them.
I poked with needles.
Oh.
I poked it. I poked the surface of that ume with needles.
Uh-huh.
So I injure them. I acupuncture them. And then put in the shochu bath. So
Oh,
in a year, I will have a nice flavored umeshu, and I will have nice flavored ume itself.
Oh.
So I'm hoping this whole ume is edible, right? I got just this much from like this much from this much ume last year because I didn't poke. This was like accidentally injured. But this year I did on purposely injured, acupuncture them so that yeah, I can eat this whole thing. Oh, that will be awesome. So that is how we make umeshu. Umeshu, usually you wait a half a year. So if you are making this time of year, your umeshu will be ready in end of the year, right? So it's a good for Christmas party. And I had a friend who married last year at this time of the year, and I gave them new batch umeshu so they can wait whole year and enjoy their anniversary with my umeshu. So I think this is really nice for the umeshu is really nice for the gift because it just tastes good. Yeah. So that's all for today. And I'm thinking to do another Zoom catch up with umeboshi meat making because you just pickled it. But in the instruction, I also said umeboshi is called umeboshi because there's a drying process. Umeboshi, boshi means dry, right? You dry under the sun. So if you don't dry it, it's just pickled ume, which is great. Which is edible already. So in the 6 week or so, you can already start eating it. But by drying it, it condenses the flavor. And that's the goodness of umeboshi. And if you dry it, this is my husband's grandmother's umeboshi, which she passed away long time ago. but it's still edible. It's like our treasure umeboshi that we can't ever eat, right? So if you once make umeboshi, you can keep it long time. But if you didn't use salty enough, it could build the mold. So that's why you want to use high percentage salt for umeboshi making, so that you can keep it long time. But once again, you can reduce the saltiness when you are eating it. So don't be afraid of using a lot of salt. And I forgot to talk about the salt in the beginning. So this is a type of the salt that I use, okay? And if you go to the Asian supermarket, you will see this type of, it's not very, how to say, it's a little bit more, like a little bit moistured salt, because I will show you here. When I peel this sticker over here, it's all in Japanese, but you just need to read the biggest number. So by 100 grams, there's something that says 25.5 gram over here. Over here. That's the salt. So there's a sodium 95.5 gram in 100 gram. So rest of it is magnesium, calcium, kalium. So there's a lot of different content than the salt. Kosher salt is good, but kosher salt is 100% sodium, which doesn't give a flavor to the umeboshi. So when you're looking for salt, and this is another reason that Japanese food has a lot of flavor, because we don't use 100% salt. We kind of use this type of salt. So when you go to the store, don't hesitate to peel the sticker when it's on, and just look at what type, when you want to just look at the percentage of what it says. Or you can also ask for sea salt, because this is made from sea. It says, this is they use Mexican, Australian sea salt. They stir into Japanese seawater and then made see, like, it's so complex. So there's a lot of sea salt, water used from different parts of the world. So this type of salt has little saltiness, obviously, because it's not 100% salt. It's salty, but it's not salty as much as kosher salt. I think that's any questions? I roughly talk about everything, I guess. So again, in 2 or 3 days after I will take a picture of my, I already got some water. Can you see?
You're special.
There's a little bit of water already. So after maybe like Tuesday or Wednesday, I will take a picture of this and share with you how it looks like now at that point. And you're more than welcome to share your pictures so that we can talk about it. And if the water didn't come out, please let me know. What I can do is I can share my juice and pour into it. And Tisha, you have this vinegar.
Yeah.
So if the water doesn't come quickly, you can pour this.
Okay. This little bit.
Yeah, this little bit. Yes, that little bit. That makes all difference, and that adds the flavor. But if let me know if the juice didn't come out. Please let me know, and I could share my vinegar. We call this ume vinegar. It's not vinegar at all, but it's it's just salty ume juice, but we call it ume vinegar. You can also buy ume vinegar at stores. But if you please let me know, just let me know if you didn't get this water. Okay. In 2 days, you will get maybe the first bottom part fill out with the water, and then the like 3-4 days, you will get whole thing synced in if there's 2 layers. Every layer you get needs 1 or 2 days. Okay, so yeah. If
You
there's
quick question.
Sure.
I missed it, but for the umeshu, do
Mm.
you put the rock sugar on the bottom first or the ume?
It doesn't matter really. I usually put ume and then rock sugar, and then pour the shochu. But
Okay.
because you're kind of doing this,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't really matter.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody, any questions? No? All good?
This
Okay.
was a fantastic session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. I will send you the updates of my Umeboshi, and please also share your updates.
We will.
Okay, I love you all. Yay, Michelle, yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yuko.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was fun.
Yay.
はい、お疲れ様でした。
お疲れ様。